pleasure to introduce our guest speaker today. Who's heard of Kayode? So Kayode is a professional speaker, he's an entrepreneur, and to kick things off, here's a short video for you to enjoy.
2, 1, make some noise!
And to be a good leader, you have to be a good servant.
So you may have seen his face on The Apprentice, heard his voice on the radio, or you may have seen his questionnaire cooking skills on Come Dine With Me. But please put together your hands for Kayode.
Sweets. You get a variety in a pack, and now whichever one you choose, you got to make sure that you make the right choice. It is August 2008, about 1 p.m. in the afternoon. 2008, how old were you in 2008? 8? Okay, I was 16. So it's August 2008. I'm lying in bed, and a nice August summer sun is beaming through my blue curtains, illuminating my room. I thought to myself, life can't get any better than this. I even had my cat beside me too. Anyone know my cat Kim? Anyone seen my cat Kim before? No? Well, you should know Kim. You seen Kim? On my Instagram, yeah. So I was even stroking my cat Kim. And then there was banging on the door. Boom, 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 boom. Kai, you need to come down. We need to go get your GCSE results. I was like, oh crap. Time to get my GCSE results. You see, I was one of those kids whereby I wanted to be cool with it. Like, I didn't want to go too early. So I wanted to wait till like 1 o'clock before I went and got mine. So I went downstairs into the kitchen, got myself a bowl of Weetabix. These times I used to eat like 7 in a go, you know. Like I used to have like 7 Weetabix. I can't do that now, but I used to have like 7 Weetabix. And then I turned on the TV. And you know what it's like on a day of results day? You have all different types of students, GCSE students, all up and down the country, all opening their envelopes too. And you know how they say it's random? I was like, how can it be random? They got all like A stars. So I remember eating my cereal thinking, I wish I could be one of them too. So we got in the car and we drove to my school, Forest Hill. I don't know why our building was so yellow. I swear it's brighter than my future. I don't know, why did they make school so yellow for? Our guys come and sit down, there's space in the middle. So we pulled up to my school gates. And I remember saying to myself, right, Mum, you don't come with me. Let me go in there by myself. Like, I'm trying to be cool, remember? Like, Mum, you stay in the car. I'm going to go in and get my results. So I ran inside the school. No one there. Like, everyone got the results already. I picked up my envelope. Then I ran back into the car. That's the effect of the heartbeat, yeah? Is that good, yeah? Is that right? So my heart was beating, holding the envelope. So my 2 eyes looking down at the envelope, and my mum's 2 eyes looking at me. Kai, are you going to open it? So I opened the envelope. Two A's, 6 B's, and 1 C. So it was okay, not the best, but it was okay. It was enough for me to get into the college. So fast forward now 2 years. So we've gone from now 2008, fast forward now to 2010. Same scenario. I'm in bed, in my room, Kim's beside me, chilling, you know, sun through the curtains, you know the story, right? Lighting up my bright blue room, sitting on the edge of my bed. This time I think I put my Homer slippers. You know them Homer slippers where you put the foot in the mouth? Like, you know, get your foot in the mouth, Homer, get the foot inside the mouth. So I put my slippers, went downstairs, same drill again, eating my Weetabix. I think I went from 7 Weetabix now down to 5. Yeah, I couldn't keep up anymore. So eating my Weetabix, turn on the TV, same kind of scenario again, but this time it's A-levels. So I'm watching the A-level results being opened of the guys who did it earlier than me. They're opening their letters, again, random. I don't know how it's random when it all got A's. So they're opening an envelope, they got A's. I'm like, wow, I wish I could do that too. Same kind of scenario, right? So we got inside my mum's car and drove to my college this time. I don't know why it's so green. It's greener than my future. Oh, that don't work, does it? Yeah, you know, futures ain't green. But anyway, so pulled up to Shooting Hill College. Same scenario again. I said, Mum, you wait in the car. I'm going to go in by myself. Like, again, trying to be cool. So I ran inside the campus, grabbed the envelope, ran straight back into the car. Heartbeat again. 2 eyes looking down at the envelope, and my mum's 2 eyes staring at me. Kai, are you going to open it? So I open the envelope. We drove back home. My mum opened the front door, and we're headed off to work. See you when I get home, she said. The house was empty. My mum obviously just gone to work. My dad went to work early that morning. And I'm the oldest of 4 siblings. Anyone the oldest kid in their family? Yeah? So I'm the oldest of 4, so I was 18 at the time, so all my other siblings were at school. So the house was empty. And it's then, when I went upstairs into my room, I had to face the realization that I had failed college. When you fail college, I pray to God none of you have to go through this, but it's 1 or 2 things that go through your mind. The first is, who can you turn to at a time of need like this? So I was like, right, I couldn't really phone the man them, because it's not like they would care, like college, forget that, you know, come roll with us, it's minor. And I couldn't exactly phone my girlfriend either, because she broke up with me 8 days prior. Oh, sad, isn't it? I'm over it now, it's okay, I'm over it now. I think, I'm over it, I'm not sure. Yeah, so the house is empty, but it wasn't as empty as I felt in my heart. So there's no one I could turn to. However, fast forward 8 years, from 2010 to 2018, when that was me actually from Flopping College, that's my face, right? But fast forward from then, 2010 to 2018, you saw me here. Show of hands, who watched The Apprentice in 2018? Well, the one just gone. Show of hands. Okay, no problem. For anyone who didn't, here's a quick clip.
Kayode is a marvel, really. I think he's got a personality that is fairly unique, and the way he approaches customers, he's great.
I heard, Kayode, you turned out to be quite a good salesman, according to Claude. Thank you, I appreciate that. Very good.
So that's a quick clip. So for those of you who are unaware about the show, so I became, maybe also people who did watch one here, I became very known for my sales and my speaking, so I was very good facing the public and selling. Hence why Lord Sugar, Karen, Claude, they gave me a lot of applause for that. And a lot of people ask, like, do we still keep in touch, us guys from The Apprentice? And yeah, we do. So we were on a night out, literally on Saturday night in Essex. Has anyone heard of a club called Sugar Hut? Has anyone heard of Towie, the Only Ways Essex? So this is quite a famous club that a lot of them go to. If you're wondering which one is me, yeah, I'm that one. Just to put anything beyond reasonable doubt, just to clarify, that's me there. So yeah, this is the Apprentice gang. However, the question, ladies and gentlemen, at Peterborough Regional College, as well as GDA, is that right? GDA? Yeah? Cool. The question, Peterborough Regional College and GDA, the question that you should be asking yourselves right now is, how is it that I was able to go from flopping college to being on The Apprentice? So what is it allowed me to make that gap? Now, the reason it's important to ask yourselves this question as well, because if you can figure out that what is it that I did that allowed me to go from being in your shoes, whereby hopefully you passed college, but from flopping college to get into The Apprentice, what happened in those 8 years? Because if you can figure that out from now, you can apply some of the lessons I'm going to be teaching you today in your own lives to hopefully do the same or even better than I did. So the question you want to be asking yourselves right now is what? What's the question? I can't hear you. What's the question? Thank you. Anyone been to London before? Show of hands, who's been to London by show of hands? So the majority of you. Okay, this is a question. Has anyone been to South London? Specifically Catford. Anyone been to Catford in South London? Yeah, you don't want to go. Yeah, you don't want to go. Now, I'm joking. Catford isn't that bad. That's where I'm from. I'm from Catford originally in South London. Now, whenever you get on a tube in London, everyone recognises the sign, right? Why are you laughing? Is that a funny sign? They tell you when you get on a tube to mind the gap. However, for the purposes of this afternoon, I don't want you to mind the gap. The gap is very, very key. I want you to smell the gap. I want you to see the gap. I want you to visualize the gap. Because whenever you see someone of success in their life, whether you see me as successful or not, the gap is key from where they were to where they are now. That gap is key. And you know where I got that idea from? I got it from this guy here.
Move on to the marble.
First, an artist must concentrate and visualize his concept.
Now you've got it.
I gotta embrace the marble.
Right.
I gotta sniff the marble.
Well, okay.
I gotta lick the marble. I gotta wash the marble. I gotta date the marble. I gotta be the marble.
Thank you. So let's replace marble with gap. So you need to date the gap, visualize the gap. The gap is key, not just for me, but anyone you meet in your everyday life. If you see them in any way, shape, or form successful, understand what they did in that gap. Is that making sense? Yes or no? Yeah. Yes or no? Yeah. Brilliant. Let's analyze it. Let's have a look at it. Cool. So when I was in your age, 16, 17, me and my friends, this is why we used to love going to partying. We used to like going anyone. Everyone knows Notting Hill Carnival, right? So this is us, Notting Hill Carnival. I think that's 2009. But this is us just generally in clubs. Well, not clubs, because obviously we're under 18. But when we were 16 and 17, we had a place where we liked to go to in a place called Deptford in South London. And we were a big fan of Bashman. Anyone like Bashman? You like your Bashman? Yeah. Gee, she likes her Bashman down here, what's your name? Shouts out to Kay. Everyone shouts out to Kay. Give her a round of applause, man. That's big. Anyway, so we were a big fan of Bashman, funky house, kind of old school stuff. And this is us at the cookout. We had a cookout in Horniman. Let's play a game of Where's Wally? Can anyone find the Wally? I.e. me. Anyone can see? Well, show of hands, who can see me? Show of hands, anyone? There I am. With my rag. And it's funny, remember I said that we went out together as the apprentice lot? And I think when we went out in Essex on Saturday night, that was probably maybe our third or fourth night out together. And Tom, he was my roommate in the show. He goes to me, Kayode, did you bring your rag? I'm like, of course I got my rag. I always roll my rag. For me, when I like to rave, got to spin it around. You got to carry your rag. So that's me right there with my rag too. But anyway, going back to Bashman. Now, during the apprentice, we had a task, right? We had to design a shoe. And we had to design an urban shoe, so it had to have an urban feel to it. And Karen Brady, for those of you who don't know, the woman sitting there, she's one of Lord Sugar's advisors. Now, in terms of the shoe, Karen said that we had to, think of a name. Part of the brief for the task, we had to think of a name for our shoe. And I said, Karen, why don't we call our shoe Pelt? And she said, what is Pelt? I said, when you're at Carnival, you got to pelt your waist. That's me demonstrating to Karen, and then this was her face. And then this was my reaction. So for me, I was a big fan. That's what I like to do. I'm from Trinidad, so I love my Caribbean tunes. So what I'm getting to is that there's an artist by the name of this guy here. Anyone know his name? Katie, what's his name? Katie doesn't know. Anyone know? What's his name? Vibes Carter, what's your name? Can't hear. What's your name? Ashley. Give Ashley a round of applause, everybody. You guys weren't clapping over here. Give Ashley a round of applause. Stop being mean. Thank you. This guy's called Vibes Cartel. Now, he had a song called Life is Sweet. And this is what I'm getting onto the theme of my whole talk about why life can be sweet. So growing up, I always had this song in my head. So I was like, you know what, he's right. Life can generally be sweet. Because going back to my gap, remember I said you've got to mind the gap or be aware of it, date the gap, smell the gap, visualize the gap, do whatever you want to the gap. Within reason, okay? Within reason. You got to be careful with the gap. Be careful with the gap. Vibes Cartel, he made me realize that life can generally be sweet. Life can be sweet for you. Because yes, life can be hard in many aspects, but life can be sweet. And now if anybody knows me, they know that I'm a big fan of my acronyms. I love my acronyms. Y'all know what acronym is, right? Yeah, so for example, one of my favorite acronyms is like LOL. You know what that is, right? Who said I know? I hope you know. What is it then? Or LOL? The word LOL. No, you know what, there's nothing wrong with it. No, sorry. So no, I appreciate you calling out, but LOL, laugh out loud. Or WTF, we're not going to say it. But one of my favorite acronyms is sweet. So let's talk about it. Let's look at the first E. Does anyone have any idea on what they think the first E is when it comes to sweet, my acronym for life being sweet? For what you can do in applying your own lives for your lives to be sweet. Anyone? Enjoyment, education, enlightenment. It is effort. Okay, if you think the E stands for enjoyment, stand up. If you think the E stands for enjoyment, stand up. If you think E stands for effort, stand up. Yeah, of course, you got to stand up. That was your suggestion. Or if you think the E stands for education, stand up. Or if you haven't got a flipping clue, just say I haven't got a flipping clue. At least you're honest. Let's talk about it. I'm not going to tell you yet. Let's talk about it. So I already told you that unfortunately, when it came to 2010, I told you that I unfortunately didn't pass college. That was my backstory. Unfortunately, I never made the UCAS points to get into any of the top 5 universities of my choice. But even before that, one of my big dreams as a teenager was actually to become a professional footballer. Anyone like the idea of becoming a professional footballer? Anyone kickball? Any footballers in here? Any footballers? Footballers? Any other footballers? Not many footballers? So that was my dream. So this is my one of the latest. I used to play up until county level. So I never played as far as England or anything. The highest level I played to was county. And I'm embarrassed to show this picture, This is me in year 9, so forgive me, yeah? Forgive me. Hey, do you promise not to laugh? No. Yeah, because I'm Kayode, why did you even put this slide in? Well, this was me in year 9. Wait, no, you said you weren't going to laugh. No, you said, no, all right, change it. No, back. All right, I'm joking. I don't know who got hungry and bit my paper at the bottom. I don't know who was a hungry person. So this was me in year 9. So my actual dream, the thing I wanted to do most, and I don't know why I got a double hairline either, but anyway. No, you said you weren't going to laugh though, man. But my dream growing up was to actually become a professional footballer. That was it, to become a professional footballer. But of course, the older you get, the more you get hit with a realization that perhaps that's not going to happen anymore. So in 2010, when I was 18, I hit that realization that, you know what, maybe it's not going to be for me. So I had to think, what would be the next reasonable best step for me to do? And I was like, right, although I didn't get the UCAS points to go into university, I can try and apply it through something called clearing. And for those of you who don't know what that is, the clearing process is a process whereby you literally pick up the phone and you phone every university essentially begging to let you in. Hi, Kayode, can you let me in? No. Hi, Kayode, can you let me in? No. No. I stopped it. They didn't even let me get to the hi. Imagine, Mary and Joseph going around looking for spaces at the inn. That's what it's like, but on the phone. But to cut a long story medium, because we don't cut a long story short, how are you going to cut a long story to a short one? There's stages, right? So to cut a long story medium, I did eventually get a place at Manchester Metropolitan University. There. However, just pausing up for a sec, because anyone has any aspirations going to uni, by show of hands? Yeah? Girls over there, you want to go uni? She's turning around, girls, you want to go uni? Well, uni that way, yeah. But picture this. It's now the 18th of September, 2010. And if you were with me on this day, you'd have been driving with your mum, going up the M6 to start your life at university. It's about 11:30, coming up to midnight. You know, it took me ages to pack. You know, I didn't want to say bye to my cat. It took me ages to pack, so it's now about 11:30. We come off the M6 and pull into the halls of my university. Kiss my mum on the cheek goodbye, and then that was it. I felt three things when I was there. I felt a bit lonely, because it's the first time in my life whereby I've really left London. You know, I went 200 miles north. I felt heartbroken. Like I mentioned, my girl at the time broke up with me just before that. But most importantly, I felt disappointed, because I thought I was going to Manchester, but ended up in the countryside called Crewe. And the reason that was a hard transition for me is because, look, I'm from South London, right? I was used to seeing beef on the streets. But now I'm seeing beef in the field when I wake up in the morning. Yo, that's not an easy transition. Beef in the streets to beef in the field. I was like, yo, what is this? So the beginning for me at university was not easy. It was hard. You know, academically, I wasn't necessarily clever enough. You know, I didn't pass college getting the required grades, so I struggled at the beginning. They spoke about things like referencing. I'm like, yo, what's a reference? Like, do you all know, do you do referencing? Yeah, but yo, I didn't know what referencing was. These times in an essay, they don't even know what referencing is. So I struggled at the beginning. So it took me a long time before I was able to be at university with a smile on my face. Now, shout out to my boy Jordan there. We're still boys to this day. And then fast forward from 2010 to 2013, this happened.
Next student has also been awarded the MMU Professional Passport, Kayode Damali.
Let me explain. Listen, that had to be done. Anyone who goes to university, listen, don't you dare just go and shake the dude's hand. That is, no, don't be lame. Come on, listen. I was on the back row, yeah? So there's hundreds of students graduating before me. And over time, if you've got older siblings or if you've ever been to a graduation, it's very repetitive. It's just non-stop clapping. So as I'm approaching the steps now, I'm thinking to myself, like, I'm the man. Like, I'm not just going to clap back. I'm not just going to walk like everyone else. And because I was sort of that guy at uni, as soon as people saw me walking up the steps, I looked to my left, everyone was going nuts already. I'm like, oh crap, like what can I do? Like I've got to give them something. There's like 4,000 people in there. So I'm thinking, crap, what do I do? So I kind of buckled on the top step, but I turned it into a little skip. And then I saw the dude like him there, so I thought to myself, I'm not going to shake his hand, like, bring it in, you know what I mean? Just bring it in. And after I hugged him, everyone was still going nuts. So I thought, let me just like start skanking, you know what I mean? So anyone who's graduating, how can you be different? And after my graduation ceremony, like word got around, like, yo, did you hear what Kayode did at graduation? Yo, did you hear what he did? And then one dude beat me. Do you know what he did? Can anyone guess what this guy did at graduation? Slap the guy. Yo, I don't know what you do in Peterborough. That's not what we do in Manchester. No, but basically, yeah, I imagine you start from over here, yeah? He does gymnastics. He did like front flips and landed at the guy's feet and shook his hand. Like, he taught me. Imagine, I thought to myself, in 2013, no one's going to top me. He taught me straight away. Prick. Anyway. Oh, we just watched that, sorry. So this is my graduation photo. See the smile, right? So I was fortunate enough to graduate with a first-class honours degree. So I just put that in perspective for you. That's like the A star. That's the highest you can get to. Mein Familia, as my Germans would say. This is the fam. My brother, yeah, he's wham now, listen, don't miss my brother, he's a wham now. I don't know what he's eating, yeah, but he's massive. And I was also fortunate enough to not only graduate with a first, but I was also published as well. So now you probably guessed that my E is education. There's some of you, when you leave from here, you might want to continue going down the education route. Now, for me, those achievements really transformed my life for me. Like, I advocate this a lot when I'm on social media and stuff like that, but I tell people that university generally saved my life. It genuinely did. Bear in mind, I went from a position from flopping college, coming out completely on the other end. So I learned a few things from that. Growing up in South, it got a bit rough. I haven't got the best past in South. But what I realized is that because I couldn't change the people around me, I had to change the people around me. Looking up, did that make sense? I saw you kind of like trying to process that. So because I couldn't change the people around me, physically, I had to change the people around me. I had to put myself in new settings. So some of you might be thinking, yeah, Peterborough, I'm going to stay here my whole life. But newsflash, you've got the whole world out there in front of you. Because you can change. If you're not happy with your current circumstances, I don't care what you got in your GCSEs. You're at college now. You can change. And it's up to you if you want to make that change. W. Anyone guess what our W is? Well, what? No, say it. I love jokes. I love banter. What was it? West Side. Oh, West Side. What? Compton and all that. Okay. No, it's not West Side. So after I graduated, or during my years at university, I realized that you have to kind of plan what you want to do from now. You can't just wait till you graduate. Same thing with you. You can't just wait until you finish college to decide what you want to do. You kind of have to decide throughout. So for me, I decided during my years at university that I wanted to stand in our students' union election. So that's essentially trying to become like the head teacher at the college or the principal, basically to run the university. So that's what I wanted to do. That was my goal, because I didn't want to just wait to graduate and figure out what I was going to be doing next. I wanted to have that in plan from the jump. So I literally campaigned like crazy during that time to try and get elected. But even that, again, was not easy, because at the same time, I really learned the skill that if you want something bad enough, you have to kind of juggle things around it. So not only was I having to run in my students' union election, I was also completing my final year dissertation. So it wasn't easy trying to do both at the same time. And on top of that, the girl I seen at the time, she was running on the other team. So imagine that, we live together, right? I'm campaigning for my team, and she's campaigning against me, and we live together. I don't know how that worked, but that was not easy. Do you get what I mean? So, fortunately, I won. I became elected vice president. But that was what you can say on a local scale, because again, I'm always the type of kid where I'm always trying to push myself. And I encourage yourselves to do that as well. Because not only was I now vice president and governor of my university on a local scale, nationally, I went to the NUS conference, the National Union of Students Conference 2013. And I remember sitting in that same room in Sheffield. And I remember thinking, I'd love to go on stage, I just want to go on, I don't know what I want to talk about, I just want to go on stage. And they said, we've got elections if someone wants to be a director of the organization. So I said, yeah, I'm going to go for it. And then Katie, who I was with, she said, do you even know what a director does? I was like, no, I'm going to go for it anyway. And I don't know what I said on the stage. I don't know what I said. I didn't know what the role was. I just knew that I wanted to go on stage and talk in front of 2,000 people. That's what I cared about. I didn't even care if I got it or not. I just wanted to go on stage. But fortunate enough, I won. So now, not only was I now working as a vice president and governor of my university on a local scale, but on a national scale, I was a director of an organization turning over £12 million. I didn't even know what the role was. So understand this, sometimes if you want to do something, just go for it. You don't have to understand every step of the process in a way. If you fancy going for something, just do it. Oh yeah, this is old school. This is 2013, so Laurie said, you're famous. You know, apprentice 5 years later, but anyway. So work/apprentices. So for some people, I appreciate education might not be your thing. Some of you might want to go straight from college to go down the working route or the apprenticeship route. However, the principle still remains. Regardless of what option you pick, you kind of got to start planning that from now. Because if you wait until you finish college to then make the move, there's guys who made that move 6 months before you. Now you're 6 months behind them. So yes, as a young person, college can be fun, but there's no harm spending, 20 minutes a day, just planning, just beginning to think about your future. Because you're 16, 17, 18, maybe 19 now, but the time's going to fly. Just like how the time flew from you being in school. The next E, anyone guess? E. Enthusiasm? No. Experience? No. Anyone else? Guys at the back? No? Cool. So in between me leaving my degree and starting my role as vice president and governor of the university, I had a lot of time to kill. Between my final exam and starting my role, I had a month. Now, from growing up in South London, I really understood the term that devil makes work for idle hands. Meaning that if you give yourselves nothing to do, nothing productive to do, very often you can find yourself doing the wrong things. So what I decided to do in my month kind of period, I went to something called the MMU Business Bootcamp when I was 21 years old. Bear in mind, I never knew, it's crazy because nowadays you guys can begin to understand about business now. I never went to my first business event or session until I was 21, simply because I had time on my hands. And then from that, I then started my own business. Events. Click, click, there we go. Anyone know who this guy is down here, bottom right? Charlie Sloth, yeah, so we've had Charlie Sloth for our events before. Anyone know this guy on the top left? N-Dubs, Dappy. So for me, from 2013 to about 2018, I ran an events business. Houses. I also did HMOs, I also rented out houses. And S, of course, speaking. In fact, these two pictures I put here, because this is at your college from, is anyone here in my talk in 2017, or is it a complete new batch? Was anyone here in 2017? No, so this was literally in this room just under 2 years ago. And now for The Apprentice, Camilla goes to me, wow, Kayode, you got these kind of three things together. That's amazing. You've almost got yourself a golden triangle. So I was like, you know what? I like that. So I now call it Kayode's golden triangle. So those of you who are wondering, you might have questions like what business experience did I have to get me onto The Apprentice? It was these three things here. A combination of running events, a combination of letting out houses, a combination of speaking. And in addition to that, it was crazy because in 2016, I remember being at home, and I got a message from this company here. They tweeted me first and said, congratulations, Kayode. You're now listed in the top 100 of the most powerful young entrepreneurs in the whole world. And for me, that was mental, because not only is it the top 100, but I came in the top 10. And it's not just the top 100 in the UK, it's not just the top 100 in Europe, this is the top 100 globally around the world. And again, I had to circle which one is me, because I went to a primary school, right, and they said, which one was you? So just to clarify, yeah? I don't want anyone to make any assumptions, innit? Like, you don't want to assume. So that's what took me from failing college to The Apprentice. So if you even think, whether your aim is to do something like The Apprentice or not, understand that it doesn't matter where you start. What it does matter is the experience that you give yourselves in between them to allow you to get there. So whatever your end product is that you want to be, that's all you have to aim for. And like I said, you've got to start thinking about it from now. Don't wait until you finish college. Don't wait until you finish university if that's where you want to go. There's no reason that literally as soon as you leave this room right now, there's no reason why you can't at least start putting the pieces into place for you to get there. So the E's, entrepreneur. So let's go over. Some of you might want to do work experience. Some of you might want to do work or apprenticeship. Some of you might want to do education. Or some of you might want to do what I did and start your own business and become an entrepreneur. And again, it's something that you can start thinking about from now. But Apprentice wasn't my first rodeo. I was in the media before that as well. So here's just a few pictures, and I was in the press back in, I think that was 2015 now. Several times, 2015. And this is kind of debate I had with Victoria Derbyshire. Apparently, I asked her out live on TV. It's debatable, but anyway. And Come Down With Me. I was on Come Down. Everyone know Come Down With Me? Yeah, I was on Come Down With Me. So The Apprentice, a lot of people say, wow, how did you get to The Apprentice? Or is it, look at your face. You don't want to watch it, don't watch it, don't watch it. No, you can watch it, You did see it? Or my episode? Okay. Oh, you from Come Down With Me? Oh, cool. So again, there's levels to this. You can't just wake up one day and expect to be at the top wherever you want to be. Understand there's levels to this. So for me, like I said, Apprentice was not my first rodeo. I've kind of indirectly been working on this from 2015, slowly but surely. Then boom, I landed The Apprentice. So there's levels to it. Last one, T. Oh, I kind of gave it away. So like I said to you before, y'all live in Peterborough, right? But doesn't mean you have to stay in Peterborough. Everyone seen this movie, Aladdin? I love what he said to Jasmine. I thought he was saying it to me. That's how much it resonated with me. Aladdin said, Jasmine, I can show you the world. I thought you were talking to me because I was like, you know what? I want to see the world too. You know, there's no reason why you can't go out and see the world. I love this quote here. Imagine the world is like your house and the country you're in is like your bedroom. If you don't leave where your room, that's basically just like not coming out of the room in your house. You got a whole world to go out there and see. So it was important for me to do as much traveling as I could. You know, I've been all over the States before. You know, Florida, down there, bottom left, Miami, Washington, that's where Martin Luther King did the I Have a Dream speech. Beverly Hills, that place is hella expensive. You know, when we were there, Kanye West was in a Gucci store, so they kicked us out so Kanye West can go in. I was like, who's more important, me or Kanye? They said, Kanye. All right, cool. Various other places, Grand Canyon, that place is just mad. Like, it's 277 miles long. It looks fake. That's how big it is. Rocky Steps, Niagara Falls, New York City, Sydney, Australia. I went down to Sydney a few years ago. And Europe, different places around Europe. And like I mentioned to you, I'm from the Caribbean in a place called Trinidad and Tobago. So this summer, 2018, me and my family went to Tobago. So that was real nice, you know, jet skiing and that. Yeah, man, that was real cool. So I'm saying to you that some of you might decide you want to go traveling. I'm going with this now. So some of you might decide you want to do work or apprenticeship. Some of you might want to decide you want to go down the education route. Some of you might want to start your own business. Or some of you might think, you know what, I want to travel. Because some of you might realize that right now, while you're young, you haven't got the commitments older people have. You haven't necessarily got a wife or a husband or kids, those type of dependencies. You might not have a house, you haven't got a mortgage. And some of you might decide that, you know what, firstly, I want to start traveling beforehand. And the final letter, the S, for why life can be sweet for you, which I don't encourage it, is if you do absolutely sweet FA, like Homer. So there are your options. But irrespective of what you decide, it's like I said to you at the beginning, it starts from now. It starts from right now. And that's one thing a lot of people say to me, how was you able to do it? And I said, you know, I planned it from early and just went for it. While a lot of people might have been going out, while a lot of people might do things in their leisure, I kind of game planned my life. Just like when you're going to do a homework or your assignment, you plan out your assignment, you got to plan out your life. And don't be like Homer. That S is basically don't do that. So it's all over to you. It's down to you. What is it that you want to do? And I appreciate that sometimes it might not be easy. Right now, it's not easy to necessarily decide. So if you're unsure what you want to do, unfortunately in life, you're always going to be doing. Life isn't like a games console where you can press pause and think to work it out. You're always going to be doing. It might not be the final thing that you want to do, but do something that gives you interest in that field or whatever it is you want to go in. So if you kind of like the transition from flopping college to apprentice, the question that I told you essentially what I did. I told you what I did in those stages, going through life is sweet. You know, I even had my sweet FA moments as well. But the what for me, the what is only provides the inspiration. You know, what did the guy do? Oh my God, that guy climbed Everest. Wow, that's inspiring. But the what, that's just the inspiration. Because if you haven't got the how something is done, the how provides the knowledge, the how provides the information. So if you haven't got the how, you have information, you have inspiration. Without the inspiration, you're just facing hesitation. Because you're buzzing, you're inspired, but you don't know where to go with it. So you're just buzzing on the spot like an electron. But once you have the how, the equation changes. You go from getting the inspiration plus the information, which will give you that transformation to get to go wherever you want to go in life. Thank you very much.